It might be that... The safe is locked. Of course. Even Fuller worked out what a safe is for. What have we got here? The US, Hawaii, something illegible, and Europe. Fuller's smeared half of it with his filthy paws. A greasy map of the world, the USA around Utah, Arizona. Then over to Hawaii. Afterwards comes North Africa, possibly Egypt, then China, and then Europe. Looks like somewhere in Germany. Alright, let's see. Okay, I know I need to enter 5 numbers. I should be able to hear if the lock clicks into place with the stethoscope. When it does, then you need to turn it in the other direction afterwards. But I need to get a move on. Fuller's had a clock built into it, so there's a time limit. Hey, that sounds good. Yes, there you go. Aha, a film cartridge. Those will be the photos of Angelina. Well, apart from that, there's just a few papers, a folder, and, whoa, a pistol. I'd better leave everything where it is. As soon as I've developed the pictures and made copies, I'll pay Angelina a visit in the hotel. I could really do with a bit of a distraction. Okay, I can develop Angelina's film here, and then make some prints. Let's see, what do I need to develop the film? The film with Angelina's pictures on it, and developer fluid. There ought to be some fixer around here, and the developing drum is there on the table. A bottle of distilled water. I'll take that with me. A small bottle of photographic fixer. There's not a lot left in there, but it ought to do for one more use, I think. Alright, now I've got everything I need to develop the films. Let's go. First of all, light off. That's enough. Now there's just the developer to go with it. I reckon the dilution is okay at that. A completely normal waste bin. I'll make a note of that in case I want to throw anything away. The film is in the developing drum. The developer's still missing. Good. Now the developer's oxidizing. It gives off electrons, which are then picked up by the silver ions in the light-sensitive layer of the film. The more light that falls on a location, the stronger the reaction, and so the place then turns darker. In short, the film is now being developed. Okay, I guess the film has to be developed now. So, that ought to do it. I'll pour out the developer. Now the fixer's gotta go in to stop the film from keeping on developing. Oh well, that's the end of the fixer. But what was left ought to have stopped the development process. I hope everything's worked. So far, so good. The film's developed. That's the first step. Now I have to make the prints. Let's see. I need photo paper and an enlarger. That's over there. Then I need developer. There's still enough in the bottle. An A4 size package. Fairly heavy. Either it really... nice. 50 sheets of top quality photo paper. The sheet is lying in the frame. The distance of the lens from the paper seems fine for the picture to be projected properly. The film has been put in. Then let's have a go. The longer I leave the lamp on, the more contrast the picture gets. Let's try it. Okay, I think that's enough time. Here we go. I have to take the sheet out as soon as it has the correct brightness. Too early, it stays too light. Too late, it'll get too dark. The photo has to go into the distilled water as quickly as possible. The dish here is empty. That would be the stop bath. Ah, the contrast is good and the brightness is right too. But the picture itself is garbage. I can't do much about that. Maybe some of the other pictures are better. Well, at least the exposure and development times seem to be right. I'll try it again. The sheet is lying in the frame. The distance of the lens from the paper seems fine for the picture to be projected properly. Okay then, let's try again. I have to measure the exposure time exactly. Too short and there won't be enough contrast. Too long will give me too much. Okay, I think that's enough time. Here we go. I have to take the sheet out as soon as it has the correct brightness. Too early, it stays too light. Too late, it'll get too dark. The contrast is good, but the picture's too light. Next time I need to leave the paper lying a bit longer in the developer. The sheet is lying in the frame. Okay, I think that's enough time. Yes, I've really got it now. Brightness and contrast are correct. If Fuller only had any idea about photography, then maybe even the picture would be good too. Maybe the next one. This could well take some time. 36 pictures and not one of them actually any good. How can a guy take a beautiful woman like Angelina and then photograph her so badly? But I can't do much about that. The pics have been snapped and I gotta take them to her at the hotel. At least I get to see her again. And it's also not my fault that the pictures are bad. What the? Mrs. Biba? Can I help you, Mrs. Biber?
Is Fuller there?
No, not at the moment.
Then, can you give him this? Give it to him personal. As soon as he gets back, I gotta go.
I feel sorry for her. There's something not right going on here. Could it help me get one over on Fuller? Huh. But I can't put Mrs. Biber in danger. She gives the impression she can't take much more. If I could secretly open the envelope, then I could look at what's inside and put the envelope in the mailbox later. That would keep Mrs. Biber out of trouble. But how can I open the envelope and close it again without Fuller noticing? I've already developed Angelina's... The kettle's full. That's where Mom indulged herself. We had an ancient wood-burning stove at home that she used to cook on. She always said it reminded her of her time as a cook back in England. Hey, the steam could undo the glue. Let's try. It's steaming. The steam's loosening the glue. Got it. The paper hasn't torn and the glue still sticks. I can reseal the letter. But first, I want to see what's inside. Holy, that's gotta be $1,500. There's some kind of blackmailing going on here. Mrs. Biber hates Fuller, and she didn't want her husband to see that I gave her a letter from him this morning. It would seem he knows nothing about it. But what's it about? Sex? Ugh, surely not with Fuller. Something to do with the diner, or from Biber's past? I'd love to send Fuller off to jail for blackmail. But first I gotta find out what he's blackmailing Mrs. Biber with. But tomorrow's another day. I'll put the letter in Fuller's mailbox and get myself ready for my date with Angelina. Hopefully he doesn't take too much pleasure in it. the mast is a copy of a flagpole you might see on a big ship. The hotel seems to have few guests, but in this season you'd normally expect a bit more to be going on. Maybe the others have seen the weather report. There's a storm getting up, and who wants to be stuck in a hotel on the Atlantic in the rain? Excuse me.
Yes, please.
Does the hotel belong to you?
Oh, it sure does. My grandfather built it, and I've been running it for the past 15 years.
Do you live here with your family?
It's like this. The guests value the quiet family atmosphere here. It really is something quite special to stay in a small, family-run hotel. I can't bear those awful tower block hotels in the holiday resorts.
And at some point your children will take over the running of it?
Yes, I hope so. My daughter's studying to be a hotelier in Switzerland. I only hope that our hotel here doesn't end up being too small and provincial for her. My son, well, he's got rather different interests.
What's he doing then?
Now, he's a musician.
Really?
Yes. He even thinks he can make a living out of it.
Some people live very nicely from it. What does he play?
He plays an electric bass in a band. I think it's called punk rock.
And you're worried about that? You know my mother? Rebecca Michaels?
Rebecca? Well, of course! We sit together on the tourist board. You're her son? How is she?
Not good, I'm afraid. She's lying in the hospital. She had a fall.
Oh, my dear boy, that's... I'll let my wife know right away. We'll send her a card.
Well, if you like.
So what are you doing here, then? Shouldn't you be with your mother?
I'm gonna go see her again later.
Well, please, give her our best wishes.
Yes, of course.